So when I have a new dog or a puppy, I like to start with teaching my dog some very specific foundational tricks that then, as they get those tricks down in age, I'm able to blend those tricks to train my dog to do some pretty complex tasks.
Good girl. Go touch it. Go touch.
Basically, my foundation behaviors are going to fall into a few categories. So the first one that I work a lot on is teaching my dogs the concept of going to a place, going to a specific spot. I start with target training, which you'll see in the first video clip was a little tab, a little round like yogurt lid, and then I transfer that to just a piece of tape on the ground, and then I get rid of the tape altogether to where I'm just basically sending my dog out into some unknown spot until I give them instruction otherwise. Then I also spend a lot of time teaching my dog the stationary behavior. So stationary behavior is you're going to be in one spot while you do another behavior. So I'm going to teach him to stay in one spot and do a sit, do a down, maybe sit up, any number of behaviors that I want to do, but basically they all are in that one place without moving around. Sam, cats. Cats, I need a cat trainer.
And go touch. And down. Good. And go touch it. Down. Good girl. Very good.
I'm going to teach my dog several basic concepts with an object. So the first one is I'm going to teach my dog how to touch that target with their foot or their nose. So you saw her going to the spot on the ground, the tape, the little target, and touching it. So basically I want her to understand how to kind of target something like that. Those tricks might then be able to be developed into something like turning off a light switch, shutting cupboards, things like that that are very useful service dog skills. That's one of the ways that you can expand upon that trick.
Good girl. And go touch it. Down. Good. Good girl. And sit up. Yes. Down. Good girl.
When I'm starting, I use a clicker, which I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about the specifics of clicker training. I'm happy to go into that in a future video. If you guys would like my help on that, just leave a comment down below or on any of my other platforms and let me know if you'd like more information. But there's so much available on the inner details. What I want to talk about is how you can use clicker training to take your dog's training to a whole new level and bump it up in a way that is just really super fun, and it's amazing what you can actually train a dog to do if they understand just these key basic concepts of training. Then I'm going to work on teaching my dogs behaviors that involve them basically interacting with themselves. Like I'll do things where I teach them to touch their nose with the paw, or duck their head under their paw, maybe touch another spot of their body. But I want them to understand how to isolate their own body, so that if I want to teach them specific things like, you know, holding up one paw when they walk, they have a concept of their own bodies. It's pretty funny the way dogs start out. They don't seem to really grasp that there's this whole other parts that they can work individually. So if you teach these concepts of how to kind of isolate 1 foot, to 2 feet, that type of thing, you then have the dog understanding how to isolate each part of their body. So whenever you're building into a more complex behavior, you can get them to think in their little pieces instead of just having them in a motion, stuck in a motion.
And get it. Give. Good. Good girl. And go get it. Give. Good. And go get it. Good. Good girl.
I'm also going to teach my dog how to pick up an object, hold it, carry it, retrieve it, basically things involving their mouth and taking a hold of that object, and get them comfortable with as many different things as possible, different surfaces, metal, plastic, material, so that they understand that no matter what the surface is, that it's okay for them to fetch that and to hold it in their mouth. My cat is going crazy right now.
Go get it. Put it in there. Good. Ready? Go. Put it in there. Yay! Good girl. Put it in there. Yes! Good. Good girl. Good. Good girl. Go get it. Put it in there. Yay! Good girl. Ready? Get it. Put it in there. Put it in there. Good girl. Try again. Put it in there. Yes! Very good. Good girl. Good girl.
Early on, if I start to identify kind of maybe stress points or weak areas in a dog's nature, I can also use tricks to kind of help combat those, to help give a dog more confidence around certain things. So the metal spoon dropping into the metal bowl is not just a targeting exercise for Emily, but it's also something because I noticed early on that she was pretty sensitive to sounds and sharp noises. So by having her learn how to make noise with tricks, it's really helped her confidence, and it's really helped her to understand that when there's sounds that she's a little worried about, she can actually drive behaviors in those situations instead of just getting nervous and stressed. I'm also going to teach the dog how to target an object and use that object without actually physically interacting with it. So I teach them to go around stuff, to go over to something, to basically use that object as a target. So this is something where, you know, if I'm trying to negotiate a tight space and I want my dog to, you know, move around a chair, move around a table, they understand that kind of visual targeting. As you can see in the video, because of all my active outdoor stuff, I've actually taken that to the point where I've trained Emily to grab a rope and take it out around a tree, so that if I ever find myself in a situation where I'm in unstable ground and I've got a little four-wheel drive dog who can run a rope up around a stationary object, I have a way to kind of rescue myself in that scenario. Also, she's able to take that rope and bring it to other people, retrieve it, and such. You could certainly tie a rope to a dog and send them out to do something, but that's not as safe as having her in control of that rope, so that if she gets snagged up or something, she can just drop it and we can start again.
Go round. Go round. Yes. Good girl. Very good. Ready? Go round. Go round. Yes. Good girl. Go round. Go round. Yes, good girl, very good. Good girl.
Once I've taught each one of these specific foundation behaviors, I then can go and start to, like building blocks, add them together to create some really complex tricks really quickly, because the dog already understands kind of each little piece of it, and so they'll offer these other pieces as I'm building that trick much more quickly than if I were trying to capture that behavior all on its own without these other foundations. The behavior that you see in the video where she's picking up a spoon and putting it in the bowl, that's a behavior that is very easy to teach dogs to, like with service dogs helping you grocery shop. She'll target an object that I'm pointing at, pick it up, put it in a shopping cart, or put it in a shopping basket for me. So I take these behaviors and I'm constantly just reshuffling them around into different positions and able to teach her tricks really, really fast because she has those basic concepts down so well. So go out, have some fun with your dog,
And get it. Go round. Go round. Go round. Go round. Yes, good girl. Good girl. Very good. Ready? And get it. Go round. Go round. Go round. Yes, good girl. Very good. Good girl.